What's happening, sports fans? We got another great top recruit to talk to. This one, Zoe Kuhlken.
Yep.
I don't know why I said it with a question mark. I'm getting better. She'll understand the batting average metaphor. I'm hitting, 700 maybe with names on the last name. Some of them are tough, but thank you so much for joining us. You can see there on the sweatshirt, it says MIT. That is where she is headed to play softball. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with that decision right there. Congratulations on the commitment. Why MIT?
So I think when I started going to academic recruiting camps, like my freshman year of high school, I always really hit it off with the MIT coaching staff. They just really felt like people that I would love to get to know, and all of their players are just very genuine. And when I visited the campus, I got the same sense from the students. It's really pretty. I know some people think it's not the prettiest campus, but it definitely feels like home to me.
So you mentioned freshman year. Was MIT kind of always on the radar? Was it always the dream school, or did something happen along the way that it really clicked?
So I think I visited other schools along the way. I was always looking at, really academic first institution. So I had never really looked into MIT before I started going to those camps and talking to the coaches. But I'm really grateful that softball opened those doors for me, because I do think MIT, if I had known about it before I started the softball recruiting process, it definitely would be the school I would have chosen. So softball really just opened that door for me.
You've, in a couple of sentences, mentioned, academics first, student athlete first type mentality. So approaching the college recruiting and playing athletics process from that angle, what would be some advice you would give to, your younger self, or people that are just coming into high school right now that want to go down that same path that you did?
Yeah, so I think definitely starting early is a huge thing. The less pressure you put on yourself later on, like when coaches are asking you for your scores or just how you're showing your leadership at school and you don't have anything to back that up, it's just really nice to know that you started as soon as you can. Just, it doesn't have to be big things, just little things, like not just getting involved in athletics at your school, but also joining clubs and working hard in all of your classes, because it really does open so many doors. I know a lot of friends that also didn't think like a higher academic institution would be possible for them, but because of sports and because they worked hard in the classroom, it really just made it possible.
Any idea what you want to major in?
I love math, so I'm something STEM. That's what I know. Maybe engineering.
Okay, so there's you're not going there with the specific, like you've already got the invention or the life-changing idea up here. It is yet to be discovered.
Yes, I hope. I mean, the students are very ambitious, so hopefully I find a little group and we can have a startup or something really techy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because there's higher education, there's top level academia, but then there's also very specific schools like the one that you're choosing, which is that very elite of the elite driven minded people. So, folks, she'll be on some sort of list within the science or technology field. I'm assuming as you are climbing the ranks in the college softball lists. Let me ask you a couple of softball questions. And the first one I always go to is, because softball and baseball players are very weird. They're superstitious as heck. So what is one of the most random or weird rituals, routines, superstitions that you've ever seen?
Well, okay, this is more of my dad's thing. He tries to push it on me, but I'm sure you've heard it before, the whole not cleaning your socks.
Yes.
If you're on a winning streak, my dad always tries to get me to do that. Sometimes I stray away from it, but a lot of my teammates do that. So...
analytics play more of a part now than ever before. So is that something that you really like diving into? Are you a launch angle and high percentage pitch person? Like how much of that is involved in your in your game?
I think it's a huge part, and that's something that really the MIT it drew me to the atmosphere that all the coaches focus on that with their teams. So for their practices, they go over like swing mechanics. And that's something that I've started in high school, but I know not a lot of, younger high school travel teams really focus on that. So it will definitely become a huge part of my game. I like watching on TV and like listening to some of the top coaches talk about that. So I think it's always been important, but now going to MIT, it'll make it possible to really focus on that.
It certainly is interesting when you start watching some of these baseball games on whatever network in real time, and as someone hits a home run, they're like, "Oh yeah, that was a 43-degree launch angle, and it exited at this velocity." And you're like, 5 years ago, we would have just said he hit it really hard, and now it's this really exact science. And I think it's amazing seeing all that kind of stuff starting to flow into it. So, Hopefully, yeah, MIT will have all sorts of cool gear that you can track all your different results
Definitely.
for all this stuff. Where's the best place for Mexican food in San Diego?
That's so hard.
Okay, I know that's a loaded question, but everyone's got one spot that they would prefer to go to.
Okay, well, this is not very authentic Mexican, but I do go to Chipotle every day, but that's not my final answer.
Okay.
I think Nando's is pretty good. It's my dad's favorite place, and I eat there quite a bit, so yeah.
Hello. So what do you get there?
I really love just carne asada burritos. I kind of keep it, I don't put a lot of like salsa or anything on it because I really just like getting a lot of meat and like protein because then I can play better, you know?
So walk us through then your ideal Chipotle order.
Ooh. Okay, so I always get a kid's meal. I don't care if people think it's not enough food. It's perfect. It comes with like a meat and then 2 sides, and you get a little baby bag of chips and then a little kid's drink. So that's what I get pretty much every day.
What meat, what sides?
Okay, usually it used to be chicken, then I changed to steak. I got to switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then now I'm trying barbacoa, and I get brown rice and black beans.
Very nice. Very nice. I like to ask any senior that we ever talk to now, you are the only people in American history to have your senior season of sports canceled due to a global pandemic. What has that been like? What has this experience been like for you?
Yeah, it's been really insane. I know during high school sports season, it's very, very busy. And a lot of the work we want to put in, we're not having to take the initiative ourselves. It's kind of like the coaches and the teams doing it all together. So I think not having that season has definitely taught me a lot about how to motivate myself and how to get work done without having that team atmosphere in person. But I do think that teams are doing a good job, like my high school team and my travel team, of still making sure we're all staying healthy. So I think now that we have technology, it helps a lot. And it's definitely one of the better possible days and ages that we can have this happen.
It certainly is. It hits everybody a little bit differently. So I appreciate you sharing a little bit of that. How are you getting softball in your life still? Are you hitting off a tee, taking soft toss? Are you to the level where you have to wear your uniform around the house? And how you still fit that into your life?
There have been days where I've been going through my uniform drawer and trying on just for nostalgia's sake, but I have a bow net, so I've been going outside and I've been hitting with the bow net. I've been pitching a lot. I've been doing a lot of other strength training, so I've never really gotten into running, so I'm kind of incorporating running. There's a hill by my house, which I'm finally getting the nerve up to run, but that's been pretty fun. I don't think I ever would have started doing that.
Yeah, exactly. That's if athletes find out a lot about themselves in certain pressure situations. It turns out that we have found the line at which Zoe will finally turn to voluntary running up a hill conditioning, and it is day 35-ish of a global pandemic U.S. shutdown. So, take note, MIT coaches, just recreate these global situations to keep her running and in shape. You mentioned your uniforms. What's the favorite one that you guys rock?
Ooh, we have 3 new uniforms this year, actually, which I was a huge fan of.
Did you please tell me you got to wear all of them at least once?
We did.
Yes,
they were all like the nice dry fit material, so everybody loved how they felt. We had a nice green one that matched our baseball team at Helix, and it had a gray stripe, and then there was like a faded Scotty Dog logo on it.
Do you have that? Really cool. Are you able to go grab it and show us?
Ooh, it's in my drawer. I could.
You send a photo to us so we can post it with the interview. We had Jordan Thompson on from your baseball team a couple of days ago, and so he was talking about his favorite uniform. So this is one of the rare chances where we get to compare similar ones. Baseball certainly though is baseball and softball is certainly the sport where there is much more style involved because you got the longer pants, you got the socks, you got all sorts of levels to it. So I understand that it's more of a debate. It's a more heated debate than ever before. So I look forward to seeing the ones that you really like. We really thank you for being on with us and sharing a little bit of your time and your opinions. Folks, there's a lot of great athletes like Zoe here that are going to go on and represent San Diego really, really well next year. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us, and have a great rest of your day.